In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. We want to take these few minutes to respond to a video, and I forgot exactly what the title of that video was. Something, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect, white people will no longer be silent. They are tired of black fatigue. What is this black fatigue that these pink people, oh, see, there you go. You starting off racist. You calling people pink. You call me black. This is your color system. You call people and place them into categories they did not ask for. But to put me into black, that means there's a target on my back. And it has been detrimental and destructive to me and my people for hundreds of years. What has pink done to you? I'm going to say this again. What has pink done to you? And you look more pink than you do white. But in your language, in your dictionary, you say that white means holy, pure, unadulterated, clean. And we know you're none of those things. Pink has not done nothing to you. But black and Negro and colored and all these labels, you created for me. You named me. So how are you going to get upset if somebody put a name on you? Because it's not scientific. Your race classification is not scientific. It's not based in biology. It's some pseudoscience that was created to justify your atrocious and horrific actions against melanated people all over the earth. Don't you raise up to me or none of us because somebody called you pink or call you a honky. It means nothing. Nobody, how many pink people have been harmed, denied employment, discriminated against, lynched, enslaved because they are honky? Ain't nothing happened to you. You were denied land and resources because you are honky. Not even in Africa have they bothered you simply because of your skin color. They welcome you right now with open arms, and they make pink people kings and queens, honorary royalty, which I find stupid. Why would you make somebody royalty and they took your land, conquered your people, destroyed your way of life? You'll never be the same again. And this is what I do understand, because they live in a fantasy world. The Africa that you advocate don't exist no more. It has not existed in over 100 years. It's a conquered land. And wherever you go in Africa, they have the national language, Portuguese, English, French. Some of these are more Catholic than the Europeans. I believe I saw where a few years ago, the Pope that just passed, he went to Angola, I believe. And these people flocked by the thousands to see the Pope, who represents the same symbol that destroyed them. And now they are believers and followers in our Lord Jesus Christ. The same symbol that destroyed their culture and their tradition. Black fatigue, he said. How many of you watch television, reality court shows? Or you familiar with certain situations? A person with no insurance on their car, in the wrong, no doubt. You got to take them to court. And they point the fingers at the victim. They did something wrong. You don't have no insurance. You should have never been on the road to begin with. They blame, trying to point the victim because they don't want to face the consequences. They don't want to pay the price for what they done. You allow somebody to borrow money, and then you have to track them down to get your money back, or you might not get your money at all, and they blame you. Well, I know I borrowed the money, but I gave him a drink of water when he was a little boy. I walked his dog back in 1964. We should be happy when somebody is kind enough, when we need help, that we can borrow money, that we can borrow an egg, that somebody watch our house when we go. We should be happy. They turn around and they're the victim. We see the police on video, no doubt. But our eyes really don't see what we see. The predator said, that's not really what happened. What you see on the video. What you saw with George Floyd really wasn't the whole thing. We saw, what was it, for 90 seconds, we saw this pig put his foot on this man's neck, and we watched him go to heaven. We really didn't see that. Predators, parasites always want to play victim, and you know you're in the wrong. And of course, there were so many that were so tired of watching over and over again George Floyd dying in front of our eyes. We live in a nation, Black History Month. I'm only going to give you a month because I don't want to hear how this country raped your grandmothers and your grandfathers and lynched them all over this nation and fed your babies to alligators and all these other horrors. They sick dogs on our children and sprayed our babies with water hoses, and they bomb little girls in churches. I don't want to hear that 365 days a year. Why? Because everything that is being said is true. The truth hurts. And you have no honor, you have no integrity. If I hurt you, and I'm sincere, okay, man, I borrowed your money, I was tripping, I didn't pay you back when I should have. I'm going to pay you that, and I'm going to give you interest, and maybe I could do you a favor. I could wash your car for you or something. I want to show you that I appreciate what you've done for me. So the person who was hurt, even though they might feel anger, they cannot say you didn't try to heal the harm that you caused. Yeah, man, I don't trust that dude no more, but he paid me back with interest and he washed my car the other day. See, you can't say that. You have done nothing. The wound is open, and the only thing you know how to do is make it worse. Come on, YouTube, talk about, I'm tired of being silent. I'm tired of it. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn about what you tired of hearing? If you step on a person's foot, they have the right to scream and holler until you get your ass off their foot. I'm so tired of you hollering and screaming. Get your ass off my foot. It's simple as that. These creeps, these predators. Then they want to put on this holy and righteous. I didn't do nothing. No, you didn't do nothing. And that's the problem. You didn't do nothing. When you take your foot off somebody's leg you stepping on, they'll stop hollering. The people holler, the people scream, because you still have your foot on their neck. We live George Floyd every day. Nothing has changed. What is it that they always say? The only thing has changed is the way the game is played. I know, may my mother rest in peace, and I love my mother, but like many of us, we did not have the greatest parents in the world. They really didn't know what they was doing. The only thing they knew, to try to keep food in our bellies and clothes on our back the best they could, and hope that we grow up. And I know my mother, can't say my father because he was not around. And other male relatives didn't give a damn. Mr. Provider, Mr. Protector, and all this old bull crap that y'all be talking. You watch women and children suffer. Then you want to turn around and talk about the man, not you, the man, the men. Protector, provider. You can't even protect yourself. It was Black Lives Matter that came together. And I know what they funded by George Soros and all this. They stole my. Why you didn't do nothing? Then you don't have to worry about George Soros or the lesbian people that created Black Lives Matter. What your ass done? It was Black Lives Matter and all those who came together for Black Lives Matter that shouted all over the world. What did your ass do? You ain't did nothing. You're not in a position to judge and tell nobody nothing. What were you doing? Black Lives Matter took the complaint, the crying all over the earth. Even Caucasian people joined the movement. You ain't do nothing. Nobody could join your movement because you're not doing nothing. Mr. Black Man is God. Mr. Black Man of Asiatic Black Man of the universe, the provider and the protector. You ain't did nothing since the end of the Civil Rights era, except some of you brag about the Million Man March that produced nothing. You want unearned praise and credit. You don't get that here. And you shouldn't even want it. You shouldn't even want unearned credit and praise. But nobody wants to hear when you screw up and folks start talking. My mother did not like when we got together and we laugh and talk about our childhood. That's all y'all talk about. Every time y'all get together, y'all talk about what happened when you, that's over with. You're grown now. Or when we play basketball and you think you Michael Jordan. Don't shoot that ball. Pass it. Oh no, you can't shoot it. That's the game-winning shot. Pass the ball over. I got it. I'm the superstar. Woo! Then you miss, lose the game. And everybody start talking. Man, that's, oh, why y'all keep talking about I had a bad day? You shouldn't have shot the damn ball. There was another guy in a better position than you was. You trying to show off and do the dance, 4-5 men on you, and lose when there was an easier option. No, people that screw up, people that do wrong, they don't want to hear the victim. They don't want to hear how they done wrong. So the next time you play ball, pass the damn ball. And folks will say, well, you know, he messed up and lost the game, but he been passing the ball lately and acting like a team member. You know, everything is gravy. But no, you're going to get the ball, still do the same damn thing. And still a loser. So we want to respond to this loser. It was a video by, what's his name? I don't particularly like his opinions. This Anton Daniels person, whoever he is, don't never shave, look rough, look like he just woke up, always wearing a baseball cap, look uncivilized. But he's comfortable in the racist system. So I want to respond to what this guy, pink guy, says and what Anton Daniels say. And the pink guy, his first point is, I'm tired of folks saying that white people don't have a culture. White people have culture. I'm not going to go and say they don't have culture. What I'm going to say to you, sir, is mostly everything that you call your culture, you stole from those whom you victimize. Because your so-called culture, if you take the black folks out and the Native Americans and many of the immigrants, you don't have nothing. The only culture you have is of violence, destruction, how to steal, how to lie, how to cheat. That's your culture. And many of the inventions, many of the things in your society, you give it all to the white man. I said white man. I didn't say pink man. I said you give it to the white man. And you don't even give your white woman credit. There's a lot of Caucasian pink women who, despite oppression, just like black people, soul brothers and sisters, despite oppression, despite the obstacles, they find some kind of way to make their mark. And you still, even the slaves. The slaves invented certain things. And the massa get the credit. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb. Or let's just say he developed the prototype, but the damn thing wouldn't stay on. It was a brother that found the element in order to keep that bulb lit. And now, this is 2025, these things are easily found. And the more you research, you begin to see the reality and the truth of everything. White man so powerful. You're white man. Only thing you know how to do is steal and lie. Murder. Grape. Sleep with other men. You started that. And then the women copy you sleeping with other women and messing with children. That's your legacy. That's your culture. And then you give that and you force that. You influence. You start to teach those things like they are normal behavior. And so the slave and women, because I'm going to tell you, women in their right mind would never have no oral, anal sex. That's garbage that was forced on them. And then the men took their science, their biology, and made it like it's natural. Oral and anal sex was forms of degradation to show you that I'm superior over you. When they talk about alpha, beta males, and then the beta male, to show that he is an inferior, he will lick the penis of the alpha male and stuff like that. It's a form of degradation. It's a form to show you I'm supreme. When I can make you lick the places where I defecate and I urinate. It's not for pleasure. It's for domination. To degrade you. To humiliate you. That's what it's about. It's not about pleasure. I don't want to hear all that. Of course you don't, because you're in the wrong. Not you personally. But that's how we have gotten to the place that we're at. We're not saying, well, I'm not, and it would not be just to say all, or just the white man in general. No, specific Caucasian people done these things, and there are those who benefit to this day. They want to keep it going because they benefit. And right now, they definitely are in the White House. And they're doing everything they can to make America great again, which is good for them, but not for women and for black people, because the time that they talking about making America great, it was not a good time for women, and it damn sure wasn't a good time for black people. And if you was a black woman, you really had it bad, because you're black and you're a woman. If the nation was trying to fix the injury that it caused, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They refuse, because you have no integrity, you're not honest, you have no integrity, you have no shame, white guilt. You don't feel guilty about nothing. I don't see no guilt. What you talking about? Except talk. This thing called white guilt. What is that? What do you mean white guilt? I don't see nobody white. I don't see nobody pink feeling guilty of nothing. I don't see no Caucasian people saying, well, my family owned slaves. I want to give all this land to the descendants of slaves. I don't see that. You hold on to every benefit that you can get your hands on. The free land, the free education, all the freebies, and you have the nerve to talk about somebody on welfare. Who is more of a welfare recipient than Caucasian people, the white folks in this country? Who is more? You always have gotten welfare benefits from your government. And then after the Civil War, they gave you reparations after the Civil War in the South, but didn't give a slave nothing. You don't want to get a slave nothing. The 40 acres and a mule, or didn't even want to treat you right. Just murdering, just bullies, beating up on defenseless people. That's your culture. That's your legacy. And you don't want to hear the truth of the matter. The reality of things. I'm tired of hearing. I don't give a damn about what you tired of hearing. Fix the problem. Heal the injury. You don't have to worry about it no more. Victims deserve and have the right to cry when you hurt. You never was no slave. You wasn't in 9/11, the 9/11 family. They wasn't in no 9/11. They wasn't in no Holocaust. Matter of fact, some of the Holocaust victims don't get nothing. These folks getting paid. They weren't in no Holocaust. They weren't in slavery or whatever. You know how this works. Insurance companies do it all the time. The victim can't get paid. The victim is dead, or so messed up they wish they was dead. So any monetary reward goes to the family, because you took their loved ones away from them, who can't work, who can't do nothing. It's not our fault that the government destroyed our people for hundreds of years. You get mad at the victim, get mad at your government, and your government refused to heal what it caused. Victims have the right, and you do it every day. You want to try to shame black folks for at least crying. And you go to court every day trying to sue McDonald's, trying to sue Ford and GMC or some drug company, when you will call yourself a victim. You pieces of trash don't want black folks to get nothing after over 300 years of hell in this nation. Then he goes on to say, what is it? He says, we ended slavery. Slavery was ended, physical slavery. It was replaced by the black code, sir, and Jim Crow. And the prison system, sir. Slavery just changed forms. It never really went away. But black people fought in the Civil War. Black folks have fought in every war you ever had, beginning with the Revolutionary War, sir. And the Civil War was not to free black folks. And Abraham Lincoln made it perfectly clear. It was what's the word I'm looking for? But that was not the intent. The intent was to preserve the Union. Abraham Lincoln made it very clear. If we can preserve the Union and keep slavery, so be it. Because that's what it was about. It was about preservation of the Union. Had nothing to do with freeing the slaves. Freeing the slaves was just something that they done to try to hurt the South. It had nothing to do. They were not there to free the slave. That's not what it was about. It's just like people that's going through a divorce will use their children against the other person. They will use bank accounts against the other person. It's the same type of thing. It had nothing to do with the slaves. Because if it did, then why didn't the government take care of the slaves once they was free? They allowed those who enslaved them, let them out like they pit bulls. And they created the Ku Klux Klan. And they terrorized the South, especially Mississippi, for over 100 years. What about reparations? You always talk about you were no slave. Well, many of us who suffered Jim Crow still here. What about that? They don't want to talk about that. Those who suffered Jim Crow and the black codes. That's because you're fake. All your little funky excuses, all your little arguments debunked. You're nothing but a predator, a liar, and a thief. This is why the Nation of Islam always taught, and they made reference to John, I believe, 44, where it talks about you are of your father, the devil, and only his works you know. A trickster, a manipulator, or maybe some of y'all just pure ignorant. You have no empathy, you have no compassion for other folks, only your damn self. You don't want to understand. Because you benefit from what your forefathers done. And you say you proud of it. You're not ashamed of it. You proud of being a liar. You proud of being a murderer, a thief, and a rapist. A destroyer. You made a lifestyle. Slavery was a lifestyle in America. The atrocities and the horrors have yet really to be told to the people of what our ancestors, my ancestors went through. And you don't want the young to know, and they should be made to know what happened to us. Just like yours know. But I am happy to learn, and I see that many young Caucasian people who are doing their own research, they see the injustice. And if it was up to them, things would change. But there's a great majority that don't mind things just the way they are. I like feeling supreme. I like being better than others. Then he goes on to say, a distraction tactic. Well, you see, slavery still happened in Africa and other melanated countries or whatever, and we stopped slavery. How did stopping slavery save George Floyd's life, or Tamir Rice, or Sean Bell, Trayvon Martin? The list goes on and on. And the 4 little girls in Birmingham, Alabama, how does it save Dr. King or Malcolm? Means nothing. And those nations that he's talking about has nothing to do with us. It's like when you go to court and the judge is talking about you. The state versus Taalik Ibn'rad. Well, what about so-and-so? This is not about so-and-so. This is about you. The state versus you. This is about you. This is not about Angola or the Congo or Rhodesia or wherever you're talking about, sir. Distraction tactic. Like when you get in trouble as a child at home. Well, what about little Johnny? What about little Bobo? We're talking about what you done. This don't have nothing to do with little Johnny, little Bobo, baby Sally. Distraction tactics. Folks do that all the time. Well, Africans sold out. Africans did not sell. What are they going to do with European money? What happened was they bartered for trinkets. And they did not just barter their people. They bartered people that was probably slaves, their people who was unwanted and prisoners of war from other tribes. Africans do not see themselves as the same. Some of them have been at war and fighting each other for hundreds of years, even to this day. They did not sell their people because we're not all the same. They're not interested in being the same. So this idea of Pan-Africanism is never going to go nowhere because the Africans themselves are not interested. They've never been interested. And then the ones of whom you bartered with, you turn right around, not you. You wasn't born. But the Europeans that they bartered with turned right around and enslaved them and took them as slaves. Because they didn't care about any other African, long as it's not me. We have the same attitude. Oh, look what they're doing to the Black Panthers. Look what they're doing to the Nation of Islam. Look what they're doing Israelites because we're all tribal. Look what they're doing to that church. I'm glad I don't go to that church. You don't care about what happened. Then when it's all said and done, they coming to get all of you. We ain't learned the lesson yet. Still have the same tribal, dumbass mentality. Because when it's all said and done, they're going to deal with all of you. Sooner or later. We ain't learned nothing yet. He's angry and upset because victims talk. You go to court sometimes and you can listen to some of these court cases. People know they're in the wrong, just running their mouth. The judge have to tell them to shut up. They don't want the victim to say nothing, knowing you wrong. Truth hurts because you know everything that, every complaint, everything that is being said is true. And you benefit. And you don't have any shame. You just don't want to hear it. That's all. There is no white guilt. You ain't guilty of nothing. Because if you was guilty, then you would, if you felt shame, and if you was guilty, then you would take the actions necessary in order to heal the injury if you have any type of integrity. Don't have no damn integrity. So you have a president who just said they're going to spend all this money on battleships. Billions of dollars on battleships. Because we got to be ready for war. Because we like to kill. We like to drop bombs. We want the latest technology to murder and kill and maim and destroy. That's your culture. A war culture. A racist culture. A female-hating culture. Killing people. With no evidence that they are part of some drug cartel. Just dropping bombs on boats in the middle of the ocean. Murderers. That's your culture. Then he says, well, why people flock to the countries that we made? No. Why are they flocking to the countries we made? No, to the countries that you conquered. And why wouldn't they flock to the countries that you made or you conquered? Because you took and stole everything. If I'm starving and you're the only one that have corn, I'm going to go where the corn is. Simple as that. And you stole the corn from me to begin with. You piece of trash. So of course, they're going to come and run. You destroy their ability to take care of themselves. You dismantled and interrupted their own governments. And still doing the crap. Black fatigue. You call it black fatigue. You don't want to hear the victims crying from what was done. I could even give my own personal story. But this is about us as a people. And so this guy, Anton, I agree with him, the thing that he said. He says the thing. This is what Anton Daniels said. I don't know how he can talk with all that mush all around his mouth. Need to shave, look raggedy. He gets thousands and thousands of views. This old honky tonk talk. Making excuses for evil. So Anton said, every time we fail, we blame the white man. We should give him credit when we succeed or whatever. We fail because they put all these obstacles in our way. And we should blame them. And we live in an unjust system. There would be no need for a Black Lives Matter. And it continues on. The majority of black men and women, a lot of them in these prisons and these jails, many of them shouldn't be there at all, or they have been overpunished, like me. There's no way I should have been locked up for 10 years. The best thing that should have happened, I got probation, 3 to 5 years or something like that. But this racist system, when they saw a person like me, woo, we got one of them old radicals. Take them off the street. We should be happy when we succeed. And regardless whether you like it or not, we know that we have done something tremendous, jumping over the hurdles that pink supremacy, white supremacy have put out there for us. We should be happy. Yeah, we blame them. We are hundreds of years behind. They did that. The government done that to us. If we had the same type of resources, the same type of help, we would be, in this country, probably the #1 power, because Caucasian people have never had obstacles in their way, even with the little nothing, the little dimes and nickels that we got, we still made something out of it. That's why the only solution was to drop bombs on Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, drop bombs on Rosewood and destroy, kill them black folks, stop them. But remember, black people have low IQ, savages, animals. Brothers and sisters can't read and write, doing better than white folks with college education, moving, grooving. We got to do something to stop them. Just like the lie, they talk about what women can and cannot do. You got to put obstacles. You got to do something to stop them, because we told this lie that the only thing a woman can do is be barefoot and pregnant. But then when you give her opportunity, she starts to outshine all of you. The only difference is she don't have your strength. She's not violent like your ass is. Not a destroyer like your ass is. That's the difference. The female nature is a nurturer. I've seen animal shows where even a female lion, she was taking care of a baby antelope. You thought she was going to eat it, but her female nature was so strong, she was trying to take care of the baby antelope. I've seen dogs nurse kittens. I've seen cats nurse puppies. All this type of stuff. The female don't care, because that nature is to bring life and to nurture life. But you're not a life giver. This white man, these Caucasians, you're not a life giver. The only thing you know about is how to destroy. Abortion is because of you. You make the tools. You make the laws. Because of men. destroyer. Can't tell no, what man can tell a woman what she should, what she can and cannot do with her body? You're not in a position. He want to run this sick. Woo! We're going to get out of here. This sick man, he wants to be male and female. And that's why he produced homosexuality, because that's what he is. He's a man, but he also want to be female too, because he cannot stand that the woman gives life. They trying to develop a fake womb so they can have babies without a woman. You got to be sick. These are sick people, and you have these black men like Anton Daniels following this sickness. We dodging bullets. Any black man that's successful, they know they had to dodge bullets in this country to get where they're at. They have the right. They have the right to feel proud in order to attain whatever they get. Because all of us know we're dodging bullets to get a little something out of this racist nation for over 300 years, actually going on 500 years. We have been fighting, dodging bullets, trying to avoid getting lynched, getting beat up by the police. Have our houses, our land taken away from us by the government, by the state. I'm tired of hearing. I don't give a damn about what you tired of hearing. That's your personal business. Don't give a, who cares? And this is not to say all white people, because that would not be just, because all white people did not participate, and all white people damn sure have not benefited. But like they say, if the shoe don't fit, you don't have to worry. Apparently, the shoe must fit. That's your problem. Why? The white man, why they keep saying the white man is their enemy? I'm the enemy. You as an, we're not talking about you as an individual. Unless you show us that's what you are. Dr. King made it very clear. They asked Dr. King, they asked Malcolm X. And since the men are gone, they cannot speak. But from what I saw, Malcolm X and Dr. King made it very clear, because they was asked, is the white man the enemy? Dr. King said the white man is the enemy. Malcolm X said the white man is the enemy. They knew, it was very clear. You'd be a fool to say that it wasn't. And you'll be a fool right now, because nothing has changed except the game. After all the evil that you have done to soul brothers and sisters in this nation, you just want bygones to be bygones. How is bygones going to be bygones? And we know that you're living off the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. You've done nothing. If we talk about reparations, you wasn't no slave. Well, how about Jim Crow? They don't have no response to that. Because there's a lot of people, including myself, victims of Jim Crow. Mississippi should pay. If the federal government don't want to do it, which they should, Mississippi should pay. Alabama, Virginia, where all these slave states, wherever you found Jim Crow. Especially the families that we know of, even made national news. The Civil Rights Bill and all that stuff was not done because all of a sudden the government felt compassion. No. It was television coverage showing the world how evil and wicked that this nation run around telling other people how they should treat their citizens. Look what you do to your own citizens in your nation. So they had to do something to try to quiet all this down. We gonna keep things going, but we're gonna have to put it on the down low. That's all they done. And then when Malcolm was silenced and Dr. King and the Black Panthers, all those voices was made silent. Business as usual. And this black man, Mr. Provider, Mr. Protector, and Mr. God, he ain't did a damn thing for his people since the end of the Civil Rights era. And while the white man is complaining about black fatigue, you have black men complaining about Angel Snub Nub 7, because when I raise my voice, I put them on the spot. What have we done lately? Except YouTube videos. And all these, supporting all these scammers, these unsuccessful ventures, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. And you don't want to listen to those who know how to get it done. I don't want to hear that. They have the same attitude. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to deal with reality. Just like these racists, they get tired of people exposing the reality of things. It makes things a little harder to deceive with your fake lies. Malcolm talked about how some of these suckers smile in your face while they stabbing you in the back. Well, I didn't really stab you. I only put 1 inch in your back. Paraphrasing. And they know how to smile and giggle in your face. And some of us are so happy when they smile at us and give us $1 million contract. That ain't nothing. The thing that we have ain't nothing compared to what we are owed. What we deserve. That's nothing. But as long as they give us these, as Tariq Nasheed said, give us these butter biscuits or whatever, and these men don't want to fight for nothing. They just want to lay up and make more babies, more slaves for the suckers. Black fatigue. It's a joke. On that note, thank you for listening. Jot down your comments, all that type of good stuff, and we'll holler at you later. As our ancestor Don Cornelius used to always say as imparting, we wish you love, peace, and soul. And we are Audi 5000.